Sin and Vin, they're like brothers and they rhyme. Their names rhyme.
Same goes to Kaltizi as well as Flaptizi.
Yeah.
Right? So
It's a connection. It's a combination.
yeah.
All
and
right.
Interesting enough, they bring in the Kai again. This is something that was being introduced back in their best of 5 against Burmese Goals, but here comes Lunox, which wasn't banned away. So there's a lot of damage output coming in from both, the AD side of things as well as the Magic. Wow, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Bren Esports.
It's going to be tough for Psycho to lock people down, but when he does, boy, is it sweet.
I suppose. I definitely suppose here, but I think RRQ, they've got a much stronger early game in comparison to Bren. So as long as Bren, they basically want to play the early game a little bit more passive, just focus on clearing the waves and focus on, if they have to give up certain things on the invade, they just kind of have to here. They don't have a choice, and the Tilda is really going to be a problem for that. But at level 4, Bren's going to have a huge swing into their favor because they're very ultimate dependent.
Yeah, I like Bren Esports draft as well, but you really have to give props to that Akai pick from the side of RRQ Hoshi. You might not have the catch, that solo single target catch, but you can destroy or you can cancel his combination. And that is the thing for the Lancelot. Just don't let him burst down people.
Well, I think it is time to get into the game. This is game 1. Let's roll into the land of Dawn for our semifinals matchup at M2. Boys, take it away.
Well, of course, all eyes is going to be on Sin, as he will be the one that will be taking over Alfred C. But just look at Few already getting his health taken down low.
Not even going to be polite about it, just you come into our range, we will knock you down a peg. Few already less than half health, not even a minute into the game. Looking at the lanes, it's R7 and the Lapu Lapu facing off against Rebo in the gold lane. Up top, it's Flaptizi versus Wiz King, so there's a little switcheroo being showed here by RRQ Hoshi. Again, you're never really sure what James is thinking.
Now, onto the middle lane, this is a normal matchup. Few knows that he will get harassed a lot here as long as he doesn't have his level 4. And as you can see, the damage output in the Matilda is just way too high. But it's okay because Few is the one getting damage, not Kaltizi.
Yeah, of course, we do see Kaltizi though trying to actually go for the little wander here, and Imole backs away, understanding that Sin as well as Vin, they could actually pull off some significant damages now that he does have the double belt buff as well. So a little bit of push and shove coming from both ends. Bren Esports, they cannot force any issue.
Yep, as Gideon said, Brenny's just waiting for the level 4, and that's when they go ahead and put it into high gear. That's when things get to start, and that's when it becomes more interesting. Right now, Turtle is coming up about 10 seconds from now in the top lane. This is Wiz King and Vin waiting to find someone, catching them off guard, and now Kaltizi just clearing the wave alongside the rest of these mid laners, preparing for the first Turtle take.
Yes, speaking of which, we can definitely see that RQ is in the prime position to be able to get that challenge in. And for Lusty, he's keeping an eye out, and here comes Psycho.
Lusty is using the brush as well, but RRQ, they are going for the Lord next, and this is going to be tricky for them because the Lancelot is on the other side.
Nice catch on the Few first blood drawn by Shin, and there's no counter go. That's gonna be the Rampaging Sandstorm. Lusty bites it. Flaptizi, he's a little too low. Oh, not even a trade. They do get one. It's Vin, but it's 3 on the side of RRQ Hoshi. 7.3 to 6.7. Oh, already a 500 gold lead.
That was the perfect timing for RRQ Hoshi to pick a fight. Why? Because Kaltizi's orange buff expired. He doesn't have the extra damage to help their side, and now Bren Esports have to bow out from that certain fight.
Yeah, and you got to give it to Sin on his perfect position as well. He managed to get 2 kills out of that effort. And those pickoffs out there has been able to just deny a little bit more time before the rest of the esports side, of course, comes in with some big plays later on, but phantom execution and stuff like that being brought out. The Wanderer secured, but all eyes are still on Turtle once again, but something's happening down here.
Yeah, no, I think Rebo understands that he can rotate much faster than R7. So that means he doesn't have to miss a wave, and then he can be part of the team fight. Now, Turtle take going on here. Lusty looking for a target. He does have his Imperial Justice on cooldown. That's going to be Kaltisi taking the first Turtle. Down goes Lusty. Vin gets him down. Oh, that's going to be another takedown. Few gets eliminated. 2 for none. Is it worth the Turtle?
What a pincer attack coming in from both sides. RRQ Hoshi, they just rushed right in and got Bren Esports members all caught out. And I definitely like what they are doing with the Kai, just having the Hurricane Dance in perfect position.
Now, team fight for Bren here is going to be really tough, but as long as they do not give as much turrets as possible, it's going to be great. Psycho will be the first target, and he will go down. Wiz King here is getting chased down, but Sin is there to help his ally, and that's going to be Flap. But Bren,
They
wait
want
for
to
this.
go.
It seems like Few will be bursted down, but it will be the order burns being popped right in. Wiz King does get that double for that dive. Great exchange coming from RRQ. Kaltisi tries to take the buff away, and Finn, he tries to move right in first position, catching on towards Lusty, but Kaltisi, how far can he run with a mega kill coming from Wiz King?
That was a very risky play coming out from Bren Esports. Carl just wanted to take that purple buff from Sin, but RRQ Hoshi was on top of it.
Yeah, and definitely a great timing on that circling Eagle itself. Now 8-3, but the goal difference is not going to be too huge in the early phase of the game. 3 more seconds till the next objective. Well, I definitely see that right now. Members inside of Bren Esports, they're trying to pull the trigger on a very difficult position, and that definitely didn't pay any dividend at all.
Now, looking at it, this is the roster or lineup here for RRQ Hoshi that really has the much aggressive early game. They go for those turtles. When Bren Esports, they're kind of caught off guard here.
Yep, here we go. Blazing Duet by Sin. He gets out of there. Battle Mirror Image. Did he steal it? I think he did. Kaltisi is without his purple. And now the second turtle comes up. I think the fact that RRQ Hoshi is just more comfortable with just giving up the turtle to get beneficial trades is dangerous for Bren Esports.
Yeah, right now the turtle is going to be the main target for both of these teams. Bren Esports really want that. RRQ does not want to give that to them. Psycho with the Petrify. Oh my goodness. Lusty just goes down.
Not a good look for Lusty so far, and without that Imperial Justice, whether it be because it's on cooldown or whether it's because they catch him like that, not even blinking. Oh no, Flapteezy gets a barrage of bullets from Shin, and that's gonna be Vin putting the nail in the coffin for Flapteezy. It's looking tough for Bren Esports.
Yeah.
6 minutes, 45 seconds in. Doc Rebo tries to go for a push. That's gonna be R7 not able to save the turret. In comes Psycho.
And of course, Blood Oath already being popped up as they will be able to manage this pretty much safely. I don't really like the sort of exchange that they had back in towards the Turtle Pit, and this is where things get a little bit rowdy with the rest of RQ. Hoshi moving right back in, chasing on towards Ripple as he tries to make an escape, but how long can he last? As you can see, R7 has already got members right behind him, and Sid might just actually get this one coming.
Now, Reba's just trying to scale at the bottom lane, but the problem is RRQ Hoshi just control the top lane, and now the next target for them is going to be this bottom lane. They want to get this before the 60 seconds passes, so that they can set up to the top lane and get the next objective there. A turtle probably? But RRQ Hoshi has their sights set on just controlling every single side of this map.
Oh, Lusty tries to put a bead on to R7, misses it. Phantom Execution still online. They're gonna use it for a dash. It's not enough. Sin finds you, and Flapteezy uses Black Dragon form to retreat. Lusty survives, but only for now, as well as Flapteezy. That's -1. Carl finally shut down here. No longer a thorn on the side of RRQ Hoshi. They push mid. That's going to be open. And Butters, as you were saying, it's a diversion play. And they just got a free turret along the way. It's a drive-through, right? They're giving Bren Esports so many problems so that whenever RRQ Hoshi goes for an objective, there's just no answer because they're trying to, you know, plug these holes in the sinking ship.
The playing prowess or the playmaking prowess of Psycho is just showing right here. The amount of pressure, the amount of worry that he puts on Bren Esports' shoulder, it's just too much to bear for them, and they break down the pressure to the early game.
Yeah, and you could definitely see that RQ's plan when they immediately lock in that clock. This is what they were hoping for in the best case of things, and they've already got 5 kills on towards this clock, and he's pretty much hard to catch in that sort of moment. Now, a little bit of setup here coming from Psycho as he's looking for a good one, and there we go.
This is going to be the choke. They're going for the purple. And look at the life bars melting at the feet of Sin. That's a double. They take one on the backswing. But what is R7 for 4 members of Bren Esports? What is R7? It is all worth it. The siege begins right here. They want to penetrate, not even 10 minutes in.
Yeah, and there's only a couple of all these members that will be coming up online in the form of Lusty as well as Flap TZ in a couple of seconds here. But they've already lost way too many towers, and I definitely think that RRQ Hoshi, they take too much control, all in the span of less than even 10 minutes. Let's check out the items, shall we? Butters, we've already seen a great build coming out of RRQ.
Now, if you would look at it, Sin here went for the brute force breastplate. That is going to be good defense against the Lancelot. Now, Lancelot isn't at the best position right now just because he has the Heptasis, but no Endless Battle, no Blade of Despair. And Queen's Wings for Flap TZ, he doesn't have the extra firepower, he doesn't have the skill vamp to just back up that tankiness that he has. Although for few, we're seeing a bit of progression here. Enchanted Talisman to the Necklace Durance. Vin getting a bit of Durance as well, and at the same time, he does have that casual Dreadnought armor just to protect himself from Carl TZ.
So far what I'm seeing is Sin and Vin, say what you will about their names rhyming, but they both understand that they have to somehow go in. This is 2 heroes that usually don't have to go dive in, but oh, speaking of dives, that's going to be the Order of Brilliance popped in here by few just to survive. Rebo with the blood flow coming in, and here's a Black Dragon form. Flap easy, he can smell blood, but I think RRQ Hoshi is setting something up from the left side. Whisking, I think he's looking for it. There's the Rampaging Sandstorm. Oh, they sense the Lord take. Can't TZ take it down here. Sin is now godlike. There's the Blazing Duet. Lusty's gonna be next. Whisking puts him in, down under the ground, 6 feet, 2 for none. Plus the Lord, RRQ Hoshi is ripe for the finish.
They fished him out, and with that, they initially went in by popping the Order of Brilliance, and Lunox already using the ultimate. They could not possibly go into cross anywhere near towards the Lord, but here comes RRQ. They've already got the Lord taken out, and they are going straight to finish up game number 1. But there's going to be a defense coming in from the side of Bren Esports. They tried to hold on. Rebo with the blood. Oh, he flickers away, but look at R7. He's chasing right in as well, but he will give his life for it. Bren Esports, they're slowly going down, and game 1 is in the hands of the Indonesian side, RRQ Hoshi.
And you saw how aggressive they were in terms of just getting that first turtle on their side. RRQ Hoshi, I think my thoughts were right. This is their early game lineup in terms of players.
Near flawless. It's like Whisking and Sin were playing all throughout day 1 and 2. This is what it looks like for RRQ.
I mean, honestly, they have been one of the more veteran players coming in for the side of RRQ for a large majority of the roster as well. They have been there for a while, and I think that makes a significant difference when it comes to just decision making and some of these more reliable picks that they've been pulling off time and again.
Yeah, I definitely think that it looks a lot more clear than what we saw coming in towards the upper bracket ones for the side of RRQ. And they took the time to really break down what can go wrong in those games that Bren was fighting Alter Ego. So this sort of the picks that came out
chasing
from
them
Bren.
down, but I think Ling on the other side is just gonna go for the backline. I think that's their main idea here.
Yeah, we've seen this sort of composition before from the side of Bren Esports. What I'm really surprised is that they honestly didn't bother about the Alice pick or the Sylvana, which easily could have been banned away, and they offer 1-1 instead, which kind of secures things for RRQ. Like, hey, if game 1 it went our way, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from here. And okay, so give or take, I think RRQ was prepared to lose the Sylvana, or arguably flex the chill. But I think it's time as we get into the game to figure out this conclusion as we move on into game 2. Please, Butters, Contra, as well as Leo, go for it. Cast this game. Give us some color.
Here we go. Bren Esports versus RRQ Hoshi. If Butters was right, if the pacing for Bren Esports actually is beneficial, that they learn a little bit from game number 1, we'll see. This should be the litmus test for that. Now, Lusty leashing a bit for Carl TZ. This is a quick purple. I think this just allows Carl TZ to be able to move out a little faster, get that BMI, and get that extra little bit of damage and mobility. And then moving on, that's also the purple. Oh, no, orange first. Orange first here for Sin.
Pretty interesting start as we are already seeing a little bit of contest going over on towards Little Wanderer. And okay, I guess we're going to be staring at them just having a chance of snatching it away.
It makes a lot of sense to just go for the orange first for the Ling. Just because you want to be a bit faster than the Claude. I mean, Claude,
Dealing damage, that is.
Not necessarily, but you just want to use your superior mobility to just clear the waves and just find the pick off. Just get your level 4, go to another lane. The Claude will think, should I go there or should I just farm? Because that's the thing. The Tempest of Blades is a good way to control people as well and take down people in the process. But looking at the side lanes here for the side of Bren Esports, I think the Ling will have a great time going back and forth on those side lanes, as long as in terms of dueling, their lanes win.
I feel like it was one of those situations where they're kind of I wouldn't say preemptively doing it, just playing off the information at hand. You had somebody go into the mid lane, they were going to, fast clear that jungle. They started on towards the orange side because they can generally see, oh, they started showing up, they started up into the mid lane, they quickly ran over to deal with their purple buff straight away. So at that moment, they say, okay, we can actually match you here. We're gonna start on our orange side, move over to our purple, and then contest for Little Wanderer in the river.
I just like how both teams are actually having exactly the same thought, same sort of the routes that they do take. So it's all about, who gets what, and then they can plot to the next attack, and we are already back in towards our game. So game number 2 here. I really do wonder how would they shut down Sin's side, because they only got Lusty, and if he uses Way of the Dragon to catch either the Harif or even the likes of Finn, it's easier to burst down. But Sin, they gotta make sure that they catch him real fast.
That's what Few is for. He is on the Sylvana, and I think he'll be a little more frugal when it comes to the Imperial Justice this time around, seeing how it didn't work out so well in game number 1. This gold lane matchup up top is also something interesting to note. Harith wins the early game compared to the Alice. Now Few spots one off. That's going to be Psycho right across the bush. And while the action isn't happening just yet, oh, nice arrow thrown out. Just misses by a hair.
I just love it that Bren Esports took something from Todak's book and they just put the Sylvana as a support. Like, you can do that. You're not limited into just those high damage dealing heroes. You can scale people there as well.
Yep.
Now with this Sylvana, they have the extra teamfight capability.
Yeah, and speaking of which, there's going to be an arrow hitting on towards Few. It's just going to be having his health tickle a little bit. But Ribbo, as much as he can, actually move across the map way quicker than the Harif, but he's already down low. It's really hard for him to join in if they were to start the turtle from the side of RRQ Hoshi. And we're just waiting for perhaps these guys to be prepared to make that rotation.
Yeah, between the two of them up top, Ribbo here and R7. Obviously, R7 has to telegraph when he's gone. But Ribbo, on the other hand, can rotate towards mid and then somehow help out if this turtle fight does break out. As you can see, it's Lusty just waiting here in that pixel bush. That's going to be Zaman Force already committed. So Ribbo can say, hey, no more Zaman Force. I think we can move on, try to do something. And after this orange buff, we can expect something big from Carl.
Yeah, and it's already going on the recall, so he can directly walk straight in towards the turtle pit pretty much quickly. Now, a little bit of the contention for the golden crab, if you may call it. So gonna be a lot of gold coming for the side of Sin.
This is great for the side of Bren Esports. If you think about it, Vin hasn't been that hot onto hitting those arrows.
Yeah,
The
not so
opening
much.
wasn't there, and Carl Tizzy had a good 3 minutes. First 3 minutes were good for Carl Tizzy. Bren Esports here is going for the turtle, and there's no contest. Up top, Rivo will be the target.
First blood here by R7. Again, they're trading lives for turtles. Rebo taken out. That's going to be a huge move for Sin, the first kill of the game. Now, the gold gap isn't so big. This is how we saw it earlier on. And so far, the fact that Rebo stayed in the lane, and that's 3 members of RRQ Hoshi that had to share the EXP and the gold up top, that's what led to this very, very small marginal gain on Bren Esports. But there's no conversion, really.
Yeah, and Calamity's life already in the hands of R7 after 1 kill in the back, but Psycho easily gets spotted out by a few with that sort of movement. Nothing much is going to be happening between the two of them, but of course, Psycho has a very big duty coming in towards those team fights, and he's got to catch out Kaltizi, but look at just the layers of things, and Kaltizi has already used the Blazing Duet.
Calamity Reaper is something that R7 can just utilize, and if they ever want to pick fights right now, this might be the time that they should go for it. And the upper turret doesn't have any more energy shields, I think. It was chipped down a bit by R7
Yeah,
here.
all 3 of them. Yeah.
And if ever they want to just go for it, then
Oh!
that would be their next objective. And Lusty here will be the first target for Vin that he hits.
Oh, Swift as the coursing river, and well, it definitely did happen in the river, of course, and the rest of the members of RRQ, they're moving right in, trying to set things up against Ripple, but they catch him on towards view. Davenport being popped out as he tries to run away, and he survives.
Now the rotations coming up from RRQ Hoshi, it seems like they're reading into Bren Esports' playbook. They know where the hell is Bren Esports gonna come from.
Yeah, it's easy, and I think for now, RRQ Hoshi will do that and try to make this gold gap a little smaller, because Carl Tizzy's not there yet. Carl Tizzy's not there. Oh, Flap Tizzy gonna be coming in. There's the ejector onto 1. Turtle taken in by the Ling. That's Sin helping out. Lusty destroyed. That's Wiz King taking him in. Psycho, though, gonna get away from Flap Tizzy. So far, it's a 1 for none. Rebo looking low. He is gonna... Oh! The flicker in! The flicker in! All the damage from R7, ladies and gentlemen. They're all low, but they're getting the kills nonetheless. Psycho just acting as a barricade. Carl Tizzy and Few can't do much. Wow, that was a total win. A wash for Bren Esports. They couldn't get anything, and conversion through the roof. A turret. You want a turret with that? Yes, sir.
Yeah, quite a destruction that we've just witnessed over on towards the turtle side, and RRQ Hoshi has been able to also back a turret right down below, but I'm looking at the lack of responses coming in from Bren Esports side as well. But we saw an early usage of the Blazing Duet on towards those minions itself. I don't think it's relatively worth it.
I think Carl Tizzy just understands that he has to speed up the clear.
Sure.
He has to catch up, and they can see that the gold gap is growing. And if he's not joining fights, which I think he shouldn't, then yeah, Blazing Duet, by all means, pull the trigger.
Now, I'm seeing Bren Esports having a hard time. Well, that's obvious. But still, we haven't seen Carl Tizzy with the Blazing Duet. And it just seems to me that RRQ Hoshi are picking their fights well. They fight in a time where Carl Tizzy has his Blazing Duet down.
Yeah, again, it's just basics, fundamentals. Now, nice catch. Imperial Justice on a Psycho. Plus a down force by R7. A few shields gonna save him. There's the Tempest of Blade. And Sin knocks out Carl Tizzy. Oh, R7 barely survives. Flap Tizzy pops him open. That's a double for Sin, though. Rebo gonna get away. Blood O keeping him alive, but how long Vin is still alive here? Flap Tizzy. Shot energy. Is it enough for him to take on 2? Always King and Vin. Here comes Sin with the orange buff. It's gonna hurt. Oh, I think they disengage. They know that Few can still deal a lot of damage.
Definitely have to disengage right there. It's a 2-for-2 trade, and it's still working out for side of Bren Esports. As at least they do have Flap Tizzy here. And they are getting flanked from multiple directions. It's a killing spree coming in for Sin. And the next one to fall, it's going to be Sin that gets caught out. I think it's pretty okay with this catch.
Yeah, well, Few still the instinct to stay and know that I can out-sustain these members of RRQ. Hoshi left. The spiral strangling keeps El Capitan alive enough to make sure that when Kautizi comes back, they can contest for this turtle. And, ooh, look at this down bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Gives them enough space, and Carl gets hit by the arrow.
Oh,
Damage output!
That's gonna be Kautizi shut down. R7 takes the turtle. Zaman Force, there's enough shields in there to keep him alive. RRQ Hoshi shouting their lungs out. They know they won that all in.
This is the things that Azelina can do. It can hit your jungler in the middle of two people, and that's how impactful the
Trick
Azelina
shot.
is
A
if
trick shot.
done correctly.
Oh, you just look at Wiz King and he does not even care how much you can put upon it, but Psycho is getting focused on, and they are already trying to get away to cut through the throats, and the Yuzong still gets away with that kill after expending that execute.
Oh, that was a beautiful execute. Full range, I believe, because Flapteasy clicked it as he was exiting. Now, if only this was a Festival of Blood. I think he made the call. That was a calculated decision prior to the game. He picks Killing Spree so that he lasts longer in these fights. I'm wondering if he's kicking himself right now saying, oh, I could have gotten stacks. I could have gotten stacks.
Maybe you might just be.
But at that point on, RQ Hoshi could have just let Bren Esports go and try to go for another objective. But what do? They try to get as much kills as possible. Then Carl Tease here is gonna have more time to just get his farm. There's no pressure for him. Lusty gets an Athena shield. They are slowly scaling up to that point where RQ Hoshi, they might not have an answer for this Claude anymore.
Oh, here we go. Black Dragon form. Flapteasy comes in. There's the Imperial, just catches one. R7 decimated. And now underneath the turret, this fight is going to continue. They're going to trade out Lusty. Taken out by Psycho. It's tank-on-tank violence. I still call it supportal combat.
No.
Oh, down bottom. Sin with the split push. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a worthy trade.
That was way too sneaky coming from the side of RRQ. Yes, they did trade, and it's okay for R7 right there as they still managed to catch on towards Lusty. Mid lane.
No, an ejector into the back. Tempest the Blaze keeping him down. They're still alive. Flapteasy, quite a few hits. Oh! Few able to help Cartili survive, but only for so long because Flapteasy is gonna bite it right here. It's only Few and Rebo. Lusty gonna be trying to come back. That's good. Blood Ode into the back lines, and Vin is getting the brunt of this all. And right now it's Few, and he's Spiral Strangling once more, poking the front lines, and there's a Zaman Force. Oh, you do best to disengage, and R7 gets one still.
These are the fights where you can see the split decision making coming up from these teams. Carl TZ goes back in, takes down Ling. Now when they saw that, someone just jumped on Carl, took him down. The threat assessment here for both teams are so on point. They turn instantaneously if ever a high priority target is in front of them.
Yeah, as much... you just took the words right out of my mouth. They just appear and immediately they pull the trigger right there, just like how Rebo is getting chunked out. Blood Ode trying to survive, but Rebo will still fall nonetheless. Now RQ, they should be able to get the top side of the tier 1s, and the Lord is already out, but Few already engaging, and Kautizi gets caught out.
That's going to be the ejector into the Imperial Justice, resulting to not much. Tempest Ablaze going to want to start a little bit more trouble in the purple buff. Bren Esports' jungle is a hot zone. That's going to be one for Few, one for Flapteasy. That's a double though. Sting shut down by the half dragon. Flapteasy here, he wants more. He smells blood. 2 for 2. I think that's as good as Bren Esports can get.
Okay, so now that's a 2 for 2, but the advantage here for Bren Esports is they have the retribution. They can get the snort, probably try to slow it up a bit, but Psycho and Whisking, they won't let that happen.
They're gonna force the issue, and here comes Rebo. Psycho gonna be going back. Oh, Way of the Dragon. Lastly says, get away from here. And the Lord is secured by Bren Esports.
Just one slight mishap coming from the side of RRQ Hoshi has opened things up, and it all led to this. When they saw Sin was already out, immediately they called for it, especially, you know, having no retribution on the side of RRQ. And by the time Rebo come, RRQ says, okay, this is definitely not going to be our Lord. And oh boy, this might just be the biggest comeback coming towards game 2.
Butters, I have a question for you. 3 towers on RRQ Hoshi, but Bren Esports got the Lord. Who won the trade?
Definitely Bren Esports, because they are the ones who's gonna stall the game a bit. Now, this is a Luminous Lord. This is something RRQ Hoshi needs to send 2 to 3 people for.
At least.
At least. So that means the turrets on the side of RRQ Hoshi are bound to go down, and that is one turret immediately at the hands of Bren Esports.
Guess what? They're even sending their own men upon it just to try to buy even more time, but here's the engagement!
Defensive Tempest Ablaze onto Sin. He is out of this fight for now. Another push in mid. I think that turret down bottom might be next. Nay, make it this one in mid. And right now, Bren Esports, they're just taking as much time as they need to be able to secure the late game. Carl Teasy, call him Mr. I Don't Sleep.
Now, Leo, Contra, this is where the jungle choke happens. You can see that Bren Esports is scattering themselves all over the map. Contra, you were saying.
Yeah, it's all resources for the side of Bren Esports right after securing that Lord. Not only that, you see so many layers that we saw coming from the side of RQ. Yeah, they want to go in for those picks every single time that they see Bren Esports. They try to dive right at them. Just look at the goal lead right now swinging in favor of the side of Bren Esports. Already 2.5, and well, there's going to be a lot of money for them to buy all these items in.
I just want to check the items right now so that we have a bit of time. Oh no, there's a fight happening.
Oh no, Ejector started up. It's few. That's going to be Tempest of Blades. You know Sin feels it right now. Black Dragon forming here by Flapteasy. Oh, and WizKing gets blown to pieces. Ejector into the turret. Summon Force right there. That's going to be the barricade. Down goes WizKing. Rebo gets the kill. And that's 1 for Bren.
I think this is the perfect time to just go for an item check. So let's see
Better
what
late than never.
the Claude has. Demon Hunter Sword. He has the Athena Shield up.
Check.
He has the Golden Staff
Check.
up. So the items here are not all damage items, but still it gives him a certain amount of protection. For Flap, it's going to be a Cursed Helmet, a Queen's Wings, and a Bloodlust Axe, plus an Oracle, extra tankiness. Rebo here is almost at item lock.
Ooh.
So we can expect a lot from him in the coming fights. R7 though, he has a Calamity Reaper, the Feather of Heaven, the Holy Crystal, everything that he needs to deal a certain amount of damage. But Sin with the Queen's Wings, that might help them in the coming fights.
Oh, hopefully it does, because Psycho's going right in with an unstoppable force already, but he is getting taken down immediately. And with that, R7 goes in to be securing the killing spree by having Mew taken out.
Nice for RRQ. I like that RRQ is trading out effectively, and they defended that inhibitor turret relatively well. Could have been cleaner since Psycho had to go down just the same. But there is one thing that's alarming me. One thing that says, oh, RRQ Hoshi, I think they know that they're on the ropes, is because almost all Tempest of Blades in the past 2 or 3 team fights have been defensive. Right now, they want to pick this. Sin, oh, another defensive Tempest of Blades going to be going back. And Flapteasy and Rebo are here. They're dealing the damage. They're raining it down. That's going to be Ling taken down. Another looking for it. Oh, waiting, come back. That's R7 now. And from the back, it's WizKing. 3, 4, none. Bren Esports can go ahead and take this Free Lord second in the game. And from here, another penetration.
You can really see the TZ connection. Once Sin goes down for Claude, what Flap does is he goes around with the Black Dragon form, just targeting Sin, and Sin can't do much about that.
Yeah, they went in a little bit too early, if you ask me, because they went in for that engagement by the corners of the jungle, and there's nothing much to get out of it. They loosen in the process. This is just history repeating itself.
Ooh.
And second Luminous Lord for the side of Bren Esports. I think they have got this game pretty much sealed.
Yep, Divine Glaive going over to R7, but check it out, Flapteasy just got his Sea Halberd now. Middle lane pushed in, Lord isn't even on the map just yet. Now, we have come from just building casual deadly blades into actually turning it into a full-on sea halberd, and that is just impressive. That just shows how much Flapteasy wants to really stop the regeneration and finish fights when they started, because I believe the next 1 or 2 team fights, if it even extends to that, could be the last.
Yeah, and looking at R7, they don't really have as much deaths. Whisking as well, so you really just have to stop them on their tracks. If they can stall out the game, make an important pickoff, make an important play, then that might be something that Bren Esports can lose from.
Yeah, speaking of losing stuff, they already lost the top side of the turret, and you can definitely see that Vin is absolutely caught out. That's not where you needs to be at, but the Lord is already scored it, and Lusty is hunting for those kills. Brand Esports will definitely get this equalizer right here for the Philippines.
Sitting at 1-1, Butters, you
With
may...
just one pick. They just give a lot of... They just, you know, try to shut down. They tried to shut down Bren Esports draft as much as possible. They needed to find the pick. They picked the Hellcurt, and that answers a lot on Bren Esports side.
I think this is some interesting adaptations. I don't necessarily believe it is going to work. I'm kind of 50-50 on the Hellcurt pick here. I do see that it is great in some situations, but when you have Matilda, and especially with the Circling Eagle, you can almost guarantee a lockdown in these in a lot of these points, and it's going to be who initiates first and who is going to be able to get their opponent preemptively. And that's going to be the name of the game. Who makes the first move?
I'm not even thinking about the farming situation. Like, how much gold do you need? And at what point will you say, okay, we're ready for these fights between these two teams that require so much across all their core heroes?
Oh, I don't know, but at least I don't have to think about it for now. You boys, you're going to have to take this one because this is too big for me to handle.
Okay, now, talking about ideation coming from the side of James, right? RRQ, Hoshi, what's great about the Hellcurt heading in towards the late game is not only diving in towards the backline, getting that catch, it's also about that split push. Like, he just gets so much movement speed when he pops in that Dark Knight Falls. Just get across the map. Like, who's going to be able to catch him when you can't even see your enemy?
I agree, because seeing that 1-1 really likes the 1v1 duels as well. You can deny them vision of the 1-1 and just try to go for the duels on her side.
Yep, Lusty almost getting taken down there. I kind of get it. This is a roaming Matilda. It's going to be a Matilda that provides shields and relies on mobility to kind of weave in and out of combat like a tank. Natalia, as you know. Hold up, Psycho uses the Cyclone Eye with just enough time. A defensive arrow here by a few. Real quick, let's rehash or remind people what lanings look like. It's going to be an XP lane Hayabusa. Ooh, Psycho, a little frisky, wanting to get in on Rebo's face. And then the XP lane is going to be, the gold lane is going to be the Baksha facing off against the 1-1. An interesting matchup, but Flappy's able to bully Whisking nonetheless.
Yeah, of course, he's going to be soaking a little bit of the poke, and he's got to be careful with the Abyssal Arrow coming in as well, because Whisking, if he just gets caught out, okay.
Purify is safe. She got that cleanse.
Wait a minute. Yeah, she's taking the A.
Yeah, well, he does have the innate cleanse in his kit. So RRQ hits Vin. Vin here might go down.
Oh, Dark Knight Falls. That's going to be some darkness raining down onto Bren Esports, and they get the first blood. What a bait right there by Vin. No trades here by Bren Esports.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be a little bit troublesome for the likes of Bren Esports eventually when they are trying to go in for those sort of picks, which is what they are looking to set up, right? And here comes R7 already using the Black Dragon, crossing out towards TZ as well as Lusty. Not going to be making much use out of this. As you can see, their health bars is still pretty much way up high, but the Hayabusa now moves over on towards the other side lane, and it's going to be having a lot of great pushes.
What a mirrored swap there by Bren Esports and RRQ Hoshi. Now this fight in mid, near the turtle breaks out. Oh, the turtle at about 1/5 of health. That's going to be stolen here by Kaltizi. And that's Lusty taken down here by R7. We're going to have to back out. Even Kaltizi doesn't want any part of this, as Few gets caught in the middle of 3 members of RRQ. 3 for none is the final tally here, the body count for RRQ Hoshi.
The better trade went over the side of RRQ.
This is to be expected because Rebo won't be part of any fights. But as long as they can keep Psycho at bay, do not get caught in the way of the Dragons, that is going to be fine for Bren Esports. RRQ Hoshi, they're doing a great job as well. They're contesting, they're getting the kills, the pickoffs. And now what's left is they should go for the turrets.
I think this is actually RQ's plan, right? Like, you really want the attention to be on Psycho as well as Vin instead of Sin or even R7 in that sort of sense. Wiz King kind of can self-sustain, especially when he does have the crossbow of Tang. So that's what they're hoping to pick up.
Oh no, an arrow here saves Lusty, and a nice takedown by Kaltizi onto Sin, and the unthinkable has happened. We were talking about how it should have been Psycho, it should have been Vin, but yeah, they caught out Sin at the very right moment. Real quick note, ladies and gentlemen, Avarice onto that Sylvana. Nice way of the dragon here, catching Lusty. He survives. That's going to be the Thorn Rose pushing away Psycho and the gang.
That is the prowess of a Selena. Just throw out the arrow. If you hit the Hellcurt has no Purify. That is going to be Lance taking him down. And that is a lot of time. And this is the thing about Hellcurt that I didn't really like. But Vin!
What? Tortoise Poissons underneath the turret allows him to go deep, way too deep, and there you go. R7 can't even regenerate despite having full Sha essence. And off camera, by the way, that was a kill by Rebo.
Those are the situations.
Sid.
But they're not done yet.
Butters, let Lusty finish. He's chasing down Sin. That's going to be the Cyclone Eye going through the wall underneath the turret, the safety of his side of the map. So far, Butters, Lusty says, okay, you can speak.
These are the things
After
that
you.
Baksha does. Like the dives that Bren Esports are doing now, it won't be possible without him.
Yeah, and those sort of catches were magnificent for Bren Esports because now they do have a little bit of activation, especially on Kaltizi. This is their key towards those game-winning trades, and just look at the amount of damage that Kaltizi can soak. He was under the turret. It didn't mean much as he pops out the turret Poissons, and the other members of Bren Esports could easily go into burst down the Hellcurt whenever he just appears on the wrong moment. And here comes Lusty pushing the back.
Oh no, that's gonna be Dark Knight Falls, but it was just a little too late. There was no setup, no follow through. Lusty gets blasted down by R7. A trade for the support and your core. Bren Esports going off with a lottery.
Yeah, just looking at how this sort of the jungler assassin meta is going, right? Of course, you have the tier 1 picks coming in from the side of Bren Esports, and oh boy.
Psycho here gets popped into the Poissons underneath it. This hurts, this hurts. That's Vin taken down by Kaltizi as they steal away the turtle. The purple, that is, and the turret. You see, I get the words mixed up, but nonetheless, I'm liking what Bren Esports is bringing.
Rebo. Will the crossbow of Tang be thrown out?
It has been.
Will be.
That's whisking in the air. Pachoo, pachoo. That's Rebo taken down.
That's the sound of a bird with a gun.
Bird
That's what,
with a gun.
that's what whisking
alright,
was.
I'm pretty sure nobody wants to mess with a bird with a gun, but
We'll allow it, we'll allow it.
yeah. What's big news right here, you know, like, other than guns, what is pretty much lethal? Blades, and who's got the sharper blades right now? It's called Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Already having that blade of the Heptaseas being bought out. Sin really struggling to find his footing in this entirety of the match. Like, you got the Hayabusa, you got the Selena to deal with. After you get past that Baksha, it's honestly tough for him to choose from.
Oh, Vindo jumping in with the Imperial Justice, and R7 coming in with the Black Dragon form. Few gonna use a Cyclone Eye, get out of here.
Wiz
Oh,
King!
from the back, Wiz King gets skewered by Kaltizi. The other TZ brother takes down Psycho, and right now, the stickers come up. The fallen brothers of RRQ Hoshi. They have no choice but to accept this conversion from Bren Esports as they push.
This off-lane Baksha is just making waves. Whereas at Bren Esports, he's controlling so much of this RRQ aggression.
Yeah, and just look at it from the drafting phase itself. It's like, okay, you can have to use on all you want, but remember this, I'm going to be activating what we can. And now we do have a little bit of look at the itemization as the turret falls in favor of the side of Bren Esports, now crashing on towards Sin as he is being forced a little bit backwards.
Rebo is almost with in this battle. Sin is just getting the Legion swords and probably a Blade of Despair in just a bit. But Carl does have the item advantage with the Heptasis.
Yep, and he's sitting at 5-0-3. This is the best we've seen Carl TZ today. This Lancelot is cleaner than the Claude he brought out. Now here is a in-game pause, real quick, a breather for everyone watching, and as well the players and us here at the caster's desk. All right, I think Gideon has been paying attention. Man, how's the fight feeling so far?
Okay, I need to ask about this Lancelot here because we've seen it on multiple different teams. We've seen it work and we've seen it not work. What's the difference between them and specifically Carl TZ for pulling it off? Because we've seen them actually knock down Alter Ego with this exact same pick. And to me, the mechanics seem solid for both sides, but I feel like it's not just Carl TZ who's making this work here. There is an outside factor.
It's definitely going to be the Boxer. You just look at him, he's all over the map. He's always protecting his teammates everywhere he goes. And it's so easy for them to just move in and out, having so much mobility. I think he definitely plays a big factor in this match.
The thing is, the difference between Carl TZ, Lancelot, and other Lancelot is the confidence. It's his confidence level to just go in and out of fight. Carl TZ is one of those players that really just want to push for kills.
Okay,
And
okay.
if there is ever one hero that enables him to do that, it's going to be the Lancelot. With the Puncture, Thorn Rose, Phantom Execution, there are a lot of dashes to bail him in and to bail him out if he ever needs help. Or he can just go for the Savage like he did to 10-second Frost Gaming.
We're talking about the optimal form of Carl TZ here, right?
Right.
And I think there are layers to this question. We'll get to it later, because right now we're back into the battle. This is going to be 8 minutes, 20 seconds in, and yeah, look at this. FlapTZ can just walk into the side of the jungle for RRQ Hoshi towards the orange here, pushing them out. Vin uses the Imperial Justice as a defense mechanism. Wave the Dragon onto this Baksha. FlapTZ not even blinking, not even sweating at all. He's like, yeah, that's fine, it happens. I'm out.
Look at Psycho even catching that arrow so that
like,
Vin doesn't go down.
I'm like, yeah, let me block it. Let me block it. Now a push up top, and even in mid, there's a huge wave crashing in. Oh, wow, 6-0. Contra, 6-0.
Yeah, and just look at them. They invest so many effort on towards FlapTZ, and all of that is actually going to waste. How are you supposed to actually burst down the Baxian? There's no apparent answer to that. Sin, you don't even want to get to that sort of question even. So it's really tough to ignore the Baxia and go for the rest with him just really pummeling them from getting anywhere backwards or forward. Now, it's simply Psycho there, wait on the Dragon, and this might just be a big fight for Bren Esports. Pulling it off.
Yo. The mere presence of FlapTZ scares the rest of RRQ Hoshi, and this is prime rotations. Butters, do you agree with me? This is all leading up towards his first Lord take.
Yes, it could be, but I think for them, they just want to go for the kills. They want to take the turrets right now so that RQ Hoshi will be forced back to stay in their base. Now, if you would look at the items here for RQ Hoshi, Psycho and Vin picked up an Antique Kiras. So that only means that they're having a hard time dealing with the damage of Carl TZ, and they even have FlapTZ on their throat as well.
Doesn't help. Right now, Psycho goes in. Less than half health. RRQs, R7 coming in. Sin gets blasted by Carl TZ. It's looking grim. Oh, they trade out. They finally get rid of this menace that is FlapTZ. It's a trade 1-for-1 so far. And in goes the Circling Eagle. Gets knocked up. Lusty. WizKing trying to look for a nice angle. Carl TZ still to fall. He's got like few. Takes out R7. It's down to 2. Imperial Justice catches none. Oh, from the back line. Vin gets blasted by Carl TZ. Oh, and Rebo misses by one shuriken. It's gonna be 3-4-1 while WizKing says, let me just clear this wave and get the hell out.
Does it even matter if you catch that Baxia? Like, you just saw Sin just exploded right there. He tries to get a catch, but you don't get WizKing right now. This is not the fight you should even take or even ponder upon. And Bren Esports, well, they're laughing their way to the bank.
Oh!
I mean, I I love the Hellcurt pick just because of the utility it brings.
Yeah.
But Bren Esports, every time Sin goes in, that rhymes by the way.
6 out of 10.
Okay, getting there. Now, Sin going in, he is gonna try and pick up someone, but every Bren Esports member just turns to him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Again, as nice as the kit is, again, you see the intent, but where's the execution? And right now, it's not on the side of RRQ Hoshi. Bren Esports is ahead by about 9,000 gold here.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the charts. I'm definitely thinking that Bren Esports now overpowering in terms of damage. There's no way that, call in all the defense all you want. It's just that there's just a no-go zone for Sin, and you don't even want to invest risking all the way up into the front line, right?
No-go zone. Anywhere that Lesty's circling is a no-go zone, all right? You got cops like Flapteasy saying, sir, this is area's cordoned off. If you come in here, it's not going to be good for you. Now there's the Dark Knight falls from the back. Sin once more, the first casualty, and Lord still stands. That's going to be the Poissons here, popped by Flapteasy from the back. Finn gets destroyed by the Ogi shadow kill, and Revo ain't done. The Doctor takes out Psycho as
R7.
well, and R7 right in the middle of 4 members of Bren Esports. Make that 5, that's all of them, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go for the push. It's just Wiz King left to defend. Is it enough? The answer is no. Another shadow kill by the good Doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, Bren Esports with the classic recall in front of your base as they take game number 3.
Now, if you think that the TP is annoying, the shouts that came out that really just tried to scare Bren Esports, that those were the things that were happening. It's a mind battle here on the battlefield, and Bren Esports, the recalls was just an answer to that pressure. Like, shout as much as you want, but you will never ever get into our game.
Honestly, I have to admit, this has been an absolutely phenomenal game to watch here from both of these teams, and even with the shouts here, and especially after yesterday's game, I think, it's a little bit of a primer. Like, Alter Ego was a primer for Bren, so that these shouts doesn't even phase them. But we have to kind of talk about the big issue here. We've seen Baxia really put a full stop to a lot of compositions, almost similar to the Diggy here. Hellcurt could not do anything about him when he is on top of him. Hayabusa even making it even easier when the team can't regenerate.
Exactly. This is making it essentially a 4 versus 5 every single time.
That is what they're trying to go for, if not the Harley.
There's a few concerns that I have here, especially with Sin and Wiz King on board. You can honestly see that the tempo that they are playing at is not exactly the same like how Lemon as well as Albert has been performing throughout the entirety of the runs on the upper bracket. And instead, our answers will be delivered by the carry here instead of the Bruno that has been speculated. But, Bren Esports still having something that we've been seeing for the past few games, which is honestly looking real good.
All right, my question is, while it's hot, while it's here, is this a better choice than the Bruno? Because if you're going for marksman, you better go for the one that works. You gotta go for the one that is right for the situation, and carry seems so vulnerable.
I would agree in most cases, and Bruno, yes, I would argue that Bruno is even more susceptible and more volatile in comparison to the carry, because his win conditions are super early and super late. There is no middle ground to that without a snowball going.
Yeah. For the carry, there's some leeway to actually just go down once or twice, and you can, if you do have a good early game, you might be popping off by the time that you reach mid-game. And that's how the carry works.
All right, well, given this unorthodox draft by RRQ Hoshi, everything lays on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 4. Bren Esports looking for the elimination onto the King of Kings, RRQ Hoshi. Gentlemen, let's get it.
The King of Kings here is definitely putting a lot of high stakes on this carry in hopes that if she could get really ahead, that Baxia may not be a problem in the late game phase where you can just kite them out itself. So I'm definitely getting where exactly they're going for instead of the Bruno that Gideon, you did mention, might not be the best of choices.
Yeah, and again, your pick, your mention of oh wait, hold on, this might be a bit of an engagement. Kartisi going up forward really aggressively. The Cosmic Lance already landing, third hit, a G could no, and all of a sudden, Psycho, who isn't level 2, who really needed to be level 2 there to save their Eudora, R7 trying to salvage the situation, but back to mid.
Lusty and the crew, they were fast on their fingers just to punish that risky play from Vin. Vin tried to steal the purple buff, it didn't work.
It's not the greatest of plays here, but it doesn't mean RRQ is out just yet. The First Bloods usually don't mean too much as long as you don't get to translate into anything. And Bren, no buffs, no steals, no wave clear, no wave clears, no invades as well. So technically, it's still just, you know, slightly ahead.
Yeah, and it all depends on who we see gets his first item. There's this first item power spike that we're talking about when it comes to a carry or a Claude.
And speaking of which, we're already seeing a lot of invades coming from the side of RRQ, while Lusty is trying to play that in-your-face chill, and definitely not the bush that he wants to move in for, but Whisking trying to go for a catch.
He misses the Wrath of the Dryad, so that would have been a really nice catch if he was able to land that. But at least they buy a little bit of pressure to get this turtle. But can Bren capitalize on this here? You can see a lot of their members rotating fast, and not to mention Baxia's coming in hot.
And this is a way to just catch Psycho and the others. They wanted to stop the effectiveness of this Baksha, but there's a fight happening right now. Look at this. Psycho gets caught out, and Sin and the others are just forced to go back. They can't do anything. They can't punish.
I'm not sure why exactly that Psycho went back in, because none of these members are actually responding towards this, and very obviously that was a miscommunication.
Yeah, it just seems like there was a little bit of disconnect there for the entire team of RRQ. Whether they were they sure they were going in, were they unsure they were going in? They had to make that decision, and they have to make it fast.
They just got caught out, and a few won't be holding back on the trigger of his Imperial Justice.
Yeah, I mean, right now Bren is just playing a little bit more in sync in comparison to RRQ, but RRQ, they don't have, you know, they're not so in the dumps in terms of their economy. They're still relatively even for the most part of it. 8K to 7.3K. It's only going to be a 6 to 700 differential overall. And Sin, he's going to need to start quickly ramping up into this game. He needs to at least get the Demon Hunter Sword into Golden Staff to make sure that Flapteezy, Flapteezy on this Baxia a little more ineffective.
Yeah, I definitely gotta say that this Kaltizi is ramping up way faster in that sort of sense as compared to Sin at the moment. But Flapteezy, now that RRQ Hoshi has already known what to expect coming from the Purist game, he's going to be facing off against R7 at the moment. This is honestly not going to be going all too much anywhere, but eyes are on that river right now because Matilda is looking for a setup.
Psycho and Few will meet each other in the brush, but I don't think RRQ Hoshi would just be initiating on a Sylvana support right now. There is a lot of things that they have to consider, and they have to bring Sin to the point where he gets the endless battle, Raptor Machete and endless battle, then just go from there.
Yeah, and it's important, and I think, you know, they have to itemize correctly for the side of RRQ. We see the Talisman already being purchased on R7, but this is going to be the fight that we're looking for. Psycho going to get hit by Flapteezy initially with a shield of Boxia. As Whisking, he is on this side dealing with Few with no problems, but the rest of RRQ, they're looking for this engage. 3-man hit from the G-Kun. No, Way of the Dragon as well. Not going to be enough as they are able to get the damage from Rebo's Feathered Airstrike, but now they're going to call it off. They trade 1 for 1. Can they get one more? Whisking finally goes down. As you can see, Kaltizi, he is very comfortable in his position, and RRQ forced to back away.
Definitely unfavorable for RRQ Hoshi. Not only will they eventually lose out on this turtle, just look at the picks. They've managed to annihilate all these key components, and Finn, once again, get caught out. And, well, just Bren Esports knowing what exactly to do, and just like how they do best. All the turtles in priority.
R7 going to take the full brunt of damage from the Blazing Duet. Doesn't look like he was able to stack up his Art of Thievery to maximum before coming in. But, you know, R7, he just laughs. Aha! Go back into lane. Let's see what else is there to happen.
But Flap, on the other hand, gets gone out, and that's going to be a lot of ultimates getting thrown into him. Flap DT!
But, oh,
Will he still escape that? No, he won't. But look at the commit. Resources, skills, all the damage that was thrown out. How tanky is that Baksha?
Yeah, literally 4 ultimates came out of them.
oh, I'm just watching that. If he's just gonna be popping that rejuvenation, he can definitely last for days. And now there comes another little bit of the tussle here. And mind you, they expend everything just to get one.
Well, at least they didn't get anything in return. Wait a minute, Lusty trying to make the big play here. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually hit it. Good preemptive attack coming in from RRQ, but Kaltizi coming in pretty on hot. Doesn't get too much damage from his Blazing Duet. Not a lot of value. Bren need to start pulling back away, but this is RRQ to look for that re-engage. They're getting a little antsy as they move closer towards their jungle. They just don't know where the rest of the team is yet.
Yeah, and of course, this is going to be very vital for them to just cut in all these spell bands, but Sin gets caught out in the mid side. Bren looking all too hot. He's going for a bit as well. Just look at Kaltizi. He's already 3-0.
He is very happy with the amount of damage he's had there. Even diving, Kaltizi, he's going in hard with the help of Flaptizi to enable him to go under the turret. Waiting to drag it onto Wiz King here as they try to secure this up. Rather, the Dryad isn't enough. Kaltizi only losing 50% of his HP to take it out. What great play coming in from Bren to ensure this dive is successful.
Now, RRQ Hoshi, they still have a chance to get back at this. They need to find the opening. They need to find a breather. But Carl is just going wild. This is the confidence that we're talking about, Gideon and Contra.
Speaking of confidence, you know, they might just be the Indonesia Slayers here because they've already taken down Alter Ego and now they are finding every single way to punish RRQ Hoshi.
A true test of might, but not only that, Bren, it feels like they have a lot of momentum riding behind them with a lot of their moves. It is very concise, it is very clean compared to their first 2 games where you can definitely see that there were a couple of misplays here and there, but overall, Bren just making the right decisions each and every time.
You won't hold back on just using the Imperial Justice. He knows that he has a low cooldown time just because of the pull yourself together. He's not gonna try and conserve that as much as possible. He knows that if you catch one's ear, he is able to get a kill as well.
Speaking of getting a kill here, it's gonna be Finn there and this Blazing Duet on towards RRQ, but they're putting them back as they manage to get the catch on towards Kaltizi as well as Lusty. Flaptizi eventually will fall, but look how much it's taking out of them to get this pick. Few walks away alive, but there's still Ribble at the back. Better Asteroid gets one, and the Eudora goes down again.
Great return kills coming in from Bren's side. They lose 3 out of great execution from RRQ. A great mechanical play, especially using the Circle of Eagle to make sure that Kaltizi, Blazing Duet, I'm just going to circle around you till it's done.
This is one of the things that I'm telling you about RQ Hoshi. They can find these little openings and they can punish Bren Esports. Now, Bren Esports, they might have the lead now, but they should be careful into picking their place. There are times where you can get to, let's say you can be overconfident, just go at them and just lose Kaltizi in the process. Item check is up right now. That is going to be Demon Hunter Sword, the Golden Staff, Rebo with the Clock of Destiny, Winter Truncheon, Lightning Truncheon rather. Few is with the Necklace of Durans. Onto the other side here, Cursed Helmet on Wiz King, Bruce Force Breastplate on R7.
Oh, there goes the fight.
Oh, they're already going to begin again. Circle Eagle starting off, but R7 is going to get absolutely destroyed by this Blazing Duet coming in for a fully stacked Kaltizi here. Unfortunately, he goes backwards with Batman Image, so he can't get into the fight, but they do find another one. They're looking for the pincer. Flaptizi coming in, turn twice, Poisons as well. They've cut them out. Bren looking to cut them off as Whisking, trying to slow down the damage. Now Sin needs to turn this around. He's got the items finally, but unfortunately, it ain't going to be enough. His range is just a little too short.
Oh my goodness, well played from Bren. Like, they saw opportunity and they took it right there, especially with RQ all stuck in that choke point. At first they pick up R7 and Whisking was all the way out of that fight already and he joins way too late.
Sin is trying his best to just control this game. You know what? He wants to get the farm, he really just wants to carry, but the thing is, Bren Esports has just a lot of control. The back is just controlling them way too much, and the throw
Psycho.
gets the pick off.
Gets hit by way of the dragon. Sin next to fall. No, that's the worst person that wanted to die for the side of RRQ. And now R7 is on the run. They've already taken out Eudora as well. The cop is falling apart as Bren allowing them to say, hey, make a mistake, face check me. I won't let you get away.
This is definitely very punishing because this might just costed them this final run right on the lower brackets. They're already pummeling down the base. That timer is already up. Psycho is going to be coming out of the base. But Bren, they could easily go on for this Lord.
Bren, now they're clearing the side waves first. They're trying to punish, trying to take away the economy again. And RRQ are realizing they are on a ticking clock here. They don't have a lot to work with. They're running out of resources on top of everything else. But can Bren close out this game here?
The Lord is now their target, and that's what they aim for. They get the extra help from the Lord. They know that they need to be safe at threading this game-ending play that they're gonna do. There are still outer turrets onto the top lane, Gideon, Contra, and as you can see, Bren Esports knows that this is only the level 1 Lord, not the Luminous Lord.
Level 1 Lord or not, I mean, Bren wants to take this advantage and just really press down on the advantage even harder. And if this doesn't go well, at least at the worst, RRQ go even with Bren and it starts all over once more. But if Bren get ahead, they end the game and they take the series and they go to the grand finals.
And now it's really relying on Sin so much that a lot of all these Athena shields have already been purchased. There's going to be more magic resistance coming in towards this late phase. Yep, they're going to be clearing off the Lord over the mid side, but Bren going for the dive!
Oh, it's going really hard. They already get bit in the process. R7 is now pulling on back. He wants to go back into the base to get some help. But Sin, he's locked down in the Imperial Justice. But can they peel him up? Finally, Whiskey is in position to do so. They lose 2 inhibitor turrets at the same time here. But Bren, they're going for the end. This is it. Bren trying to pull on forward. RQ clearing the waves as much as they can. But they're throwing their bodies as soon as they do. Lusty, he's done it. He's brought more glory. Welcome to the grand finals, Bren Esports.
This is the first time that Indonesia is out of the grand finals. Bren Esports, Burmese Ghouls, get yourselves ready for that best of 7.
If that's not a statement for one.
What a new age the Indonesians have to step down. Contra, you were saying, you were asking a question?
This is history in the making.
Oh.
We are definitely seeing this trophy going on to a new nation. And wow.
Firm, at least.
At least. You can't see this right now, but Ducky's off screen jumping up and down. He is so proud of his boys, and I can only understand and relate and sympathize with the feeling here because, oh my goodness, we've been talking about, you know, Indonesia being the teams, the region to beat. They've been such a powerhouse, but look at that score, 3-1 in favor.